We're absolutely ruthless. We're always looking for new material, and we will just plunder whatever you say and use it. So no, I mean, I'm only exaggerating a little bit. I had a call from a dear friend of mine she'd always had a little bit of a rocky relationship with her boyfriend, and so I kind of knew that it was headed south at some point. And she called me up one night, and she's like, okay, this is it. This is the last straw. We're gonna have to break up. You know, he's driving me crazy. We may have to get separate apartments. I don't know. Will you come out with me and we'll just talk about this? I need somebody to bounce my troubles off of. And I said, sure, no problem at all.
Make my notepad.
And actually, at the time, I really did not have an ulterior motive of using her misfortune to write a song. But when she started talking, what happened was, I started...
The classic win-lose situation.
I know. I started thinking back to, those sad days before I was married to the lovely Ken. And, some of my unfortunate love affairs. Because
I'll remember you said that.
a lot of what she was saying, I had experienced similar things, and so many people had. And I thought, I know there's a lot of breakup songs in the world, but what's one more? I'll just add another.
Actually, that's important, because you don't have to think that you're reinventing the wheel.
Yeah.
You can say the same thing in a different way.
And there's a reason why there are so many. It's like the entire Nashville music industry would fall on its face if people just started only having happy love.
You think the world had enough silly love songs. Look around me and I see it isn't so.
Right. So we wrote, this is just sort of an all-purpose breakup song that we wrote called Thanks Just the Same.
Are you ready?
Yes.
1, 2,
If you're thinking of leaving, well, you better think fast. The time for cold indecision has long ago passed. And if you're thinking of staying, better act like a man, 'cause I ain't waiting for Monday to come to do what I can. I called up the doctor, 'cause I thought you were ill. He said to burn all your records, they were haunting you still, and that I was to treat you like a horse that's gone lame, and to just let you wander on your own till you felt the sound again. I followed his orders, and I left with my pride. I can't condemn you, oh God knows I've tried. My days are a tangle, and my nights are a maze, but I'm finding my way through. All right, thanks just the same. Yeah, don't be afraid to use your friends. Just try to stay friends with them afterwards, if possible. But first things first. First things first. Anyway, so I have noticed that I have a really bad memory, but I have a really good imagination. So between those two things, what happens is that a lot of
It means you
times...
can never be trusted.
Yeah, exactly. It's like when somebody asks me to relate, some event that happened, I don't know if I'm ever getting it right, because I feel like sometimes I'm filling in the details that I don't remember with what I wish happened. It's like wish fulfillment.
What should have happened.
What should have happened. And so this is maybe something that a lot of writers do. I hope it's not just me. And actually not even just, I think most people, I think this is something that plagues police investigators. When they have to investigate a crime and they're talking to eyewitnesses afterwards, you can question a bunch of different people and get completely differing versions of what happened. But the great thing when you're writing a song, it really doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is your version of events. So that's the lovely thing about it. So this is a song that we wrote about, it's sort of a memory of something that maybe never happened except in your imagination. And this is called Every Day. To make people sort of pay attention to it is like what we just did at the end of that last song. You think the song's ending, but then it starts up. There's like a little tag, there's a little pause. So little things like that, little hooks that you try to pull the listener in. So just
like fishing.
Like fishing, exactly.
But not bloody.
Exactly.
Not as bloody.
Not, yeah. Okay. So you want to talk about this one?
How do we frame this in a,
okay.
I don't know.
In a songwriterly way?
I'm trying to think of the origins. I remember we were driving on the road,
right.
And what was the topic of the conversation? I guess probably we were frustrated because we weren't being played on enough stations or something.
Yeah.
It's like, we put all this work into it.
I feel forgotten
just
about
the
it.
usual whining like I always do. And I guess we got the idea of it. It just seems like it's so easy to be forgotten in this business. And we thought, well, I guess it's easy to be forgotten in general, isn't it? And the whole idea was
like a lot of people have that
about being,
experience.
I guess, exclusion. which especially if you're in music, you feel that a lot. But people too, it's a natural thing, everybody experiences it. And I guess so the idea of the origins of this song is that feeling of being excluded. And we know a lot of people who kind of, I think, feel that way, especially, I know my mother does sometimes. And I know that we do sometimes, professionally and personally. And that's really what's behind this. We use the metaphor of a house that's kind of crumbling or wanting to get rid of old things as a vehicle, but really it's the feeling of exclusion that's behind it all.
Metaphor is so helpful.
It is. And it's the title track of our most recent album that's finished that we actually have here. And some of you have heard it before, and it's called Any Forgotten.
Lately my hands don't seem to work the way I want them to, and I'd like to look up at the sky and set it down my shoes. Can't seem to turn my mind to what each day might bring, 'cause I've fallen into disrepair like any forgotten thing. The clock upon the mantle is falling out of time. I can't see why I should wind it, well, I'm so far behind. But I might replace the front doorbell just to hear it ring, or let the old one rust away like any forgotten thing. Some things here can still be fixed, for others it's too late. But I can't be sure of what to keep and what to throw away. It's like living in the space between the winter and the spring, one season of uncertainty for every forgotten thing. For this next song, we were just driving down the highway, and all of a sudden this melody just popped into my head. So, Ken was driving, and I got up and got my guitar, and I tried to sit in the passenger seat with my guitar and try to work this song out. And this was a very strange one because it did something that songs aren't supposed to do. It had chords in it that went outside the key of the song, and there was a lot of, it's in